we go. Hello, American lady. So we're going to start comfortable standing as always. Let's find our way rocking forwards and backwards. So this sequence in particular is going to focus on some of the muscle groups. So if you've been doing running, you might be looking at me going, what? But if you're a runner, then this will be particularly beneficial. If you are somebody who moves, again, this will be beneficial because it's sensible range of movement. So don't worry if you pick this up and go, actually, I'm not a runner, so this isn't for me. I haven't done running for a while because of my injury, and so it's still beneficial because I'm still going to be sending my body in different directions. I'm still going to be strengthening and stabilizing, and that's always going to be happy for my body and for my mind because of it. So I'm going to rise up into the balls of the feet and then back down onto the heels. So let's find that kind of rocking motion to begin with. Lovely. And then let's rise up onto the balls of the feet and then sit back on the heels. Lovely. Rising up and then down. Really nice. And you want to find that point before you start to stick your bum out. So if we've kind of find our end range of movement, and then we can't reach fast it, we kind of move elsewhere. We want to move before we stick the bum out. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to tuck the chin to the chest and start to roll down. Knees can be soft. We're going to roll down bone by bone. So the idea here is that we are encouraging, one, release to gravity, and two, that sense of reconnecting in with the spine. So notice at any point if it feels like it's a little bit more stiff than another point. We all will have that somewhere in our bodies. That's a completely natural thing to have. So again, an opportunity to reacquaint yourself back in. Where do I feel that kind of sense of a little bit harder, a little bit more stuck? And if we find that, that's not a bad thing. It's just an opportunity for us to notice, which for me, yoga is a massive opportunity to notice, to reconnect in with the body, with the mind. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to make our way down to lying with as much or as little dignity as you like. So, lying down on the floor, pause for a moment, feel the shoulders settling into the floor, feel the hips nestling in, so let the head catch up with where the body's got to, and then the fingers can interlace, coming behind the back of the head. Use the hands to lift the chin to the chest, so the shoulders stay down. We're not doing a crunch. Lovely, stretch into the back of the neck. Lovely. So you guys that have done this, been doing sports yoga, functional flow before, you'll be way ahead of me. So feel that space in between the shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders, back of the neck, all that little chain reaction into the body. Really nice. And then from here, the hands can release, bring them to wherever's comfortable. Bring the soles of the feet onto the floor if they're not already. Feet can walk wide. And we're going to drop the knees to one side. Oh, that feels good already, right? Well, for me, it's good to speak for myself. Shift from one side to the other. Lovely. An opportunity to feel the shift in the weight across the lower back, into the soles of the feet. Maybe we notice this into the front of one hip or into the lower back. So again, just observe, where do I feel this? Interesting. Hello, body. Really nice. From here, knees into the chest. We're going to bring the knees in. As we do this, we feel the lower back press into the mat. And as we bring the knees away, maybe a slight lift, curving into the lower back. Lovely. Breathing in, out, knees in. Breathing in, knees away. Lovely. We can circle here. We can rock side to side. Lovely. And then again, we'll find that same relationship into the lower back. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet onto the ground. And we're going to lift lower back only, as if we want to slide a hand under, and exhale to flatten. And here we're not looking to press or to come into the furthest possible point. So I'm trying to avoid the word tuck, tucking the tailbone. We're just rocking on and off of the pelvis and then scooping. So scooping into the lower back and then finding that space here. Lovely. This time we can tuck, same but different. Scoop into the lower back, press into the feet, let the hips lift, and then with control, so see if we can get bone by bone, each vertebra to come down onto the mat. Keep that tuck, that scoop until the very last moment, and then breathe in to arch into the lower back. Exhale, scoop, and then lift. Lovely. So we start to find that ripple into the spine here. So we're looking to find lifting bone by bone, almost like a mini massage. Each bone lifts, breathing out. Each bone comes down one at a time. Really nice, guys. From here, both legs lengthen, both arms above the head. Let's reach one hand away from that foot and then the other hand away from the, so right hand reaches away from the right foot, left hand reaches away from the left foot. Lovely. Bring the knees into the chest again. From here, we can rock and roll. We can bring the knees to the side and come up to seated. So choose how you want to come up. Oh, lovely. A little bit of a rock and roll. Can feel so good. So really exaggerate that rounding into the back. Lovely. Last one. This time, soles of the feet down. Use that to scoop up. So notice if we're kind of hanging back a bit. Play with the placement of the feet. If it helps to bring the knees cross-legged, then go for it. Because we're going to breathe in and then find a side twist. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, we've got this space in a diaphragm twist. Lovely. One more time on each side. So we start to work with the breath rather than against it. Lovely. And then this time, let's bring both arms up. So the right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. I'm going to side reach. Lovely. Breathe in through center. Let's side reach to the same side. Lovely. So notice each time, maybe we get a little bit further or maybe we don't. Lovely. Let's do one more breath there. Really nice, guys. And then come to the other side. So left hand down this time. Right arm reaches right up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then side reaching. Lovely. Breathing in and out. So again, please work at the pace of your own breath. If I'm talking too fast or too slow, work with where your body's guiding you. Notice that I'm actually talking a fair bit. So that means I'm not breathing properly myself. Lovely. Both hands down. Both knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingers wide and let's shift a little bit forwards, backwards, side to side. If it feels quite strong on the wrists here, quite bendy, then we can bring the hands further forward. So again, play around. Explore where that weight needs to be. We are not used to bearing all of our weight through our wrists. We kind of forget. Past the age of 18 months, we don't really do a huge amount of crawling. And then we come to a yoga mat or a fitness class and try and do like press ups or planks, or we're not used to putting our weight through our wrists. So give them a little bit of love, let them wake up. Lovely. And then come to stillness. So we're going to find that same tilt into the pelvis, but different relationship to gravity. So let's lift tailbone only and then scooping. Lovely. Tailbone lifts only and then scooping down. I find it helpful to bring my hands onto my body to notice ribs. Are you joining in? You shouldn't be. I'm hypermobile, which means that I have slightly less awareness of where my body is in space. So I have to really, really pay attention. So if you want to bring your hands onto your ribs, if that helps, then go for it. And then we're going to let that movement travel. So we're going to scoop tailbone down, find that movement into the middle of the back, into the shoulders, let the head drop down. Let's reverse that movement. So the head comes back to neutral, shoulders soften. Lovely, rippling through. Really, really, really slow that movement down as much as you need to. So we're no longer, it doesn't matter if it lasts for the whole in-breath or the whole out-breath. The idea is to find independent movement of the spine. The spine is capable of independent movement. We just forget to use it for that. And we send our body into the same shape, often rounding over and over and over again. And then we forget that it's able to move without being a block. Lovely. So from here, we are going to bring sit bones back to the heels. Find that reach forwards. Maybe explore. It might feel nice to come up onto the fingertips here. I find that the underarms then start to engage. I get a little bit more awareness, then connecting back into my body. And I'm going to walk the hands to one side and stretch. And then walk the hands to the other and stretch. Lovely. Let's do one more on each side. So option to have one hand on top of the other. Option to just have the hands shoulder width apart. Again, play around with it. What feels good in your body? Lovely. And then bring the elbows into contact with the knees. Palms flat down onto the floor. Sit bones stay where they are. And we're going to round into the top of the spine this time. And then squeeze shoulder blades together. So notice here, exactly the same as if when we're kind of doing that standing and sitting back on the heels. If we don't have this movement into our body, if we find a restriction, often what we do is we bring the head back and we start to scrunch into the neck. So see if we can keep the head where it is. Don't need to kind of squash into the neck at all. Just find that squeezing and rounding just into the shoulder blades. Lovely. Hands can come forwards, toes can tuck, and we're going to find a downward dog. So this might be the first downward dog that you've done for a while. So let's feel our way into it. We can pedal one heel down, one the opposite heel lifts, bend one knee and the other. We can bring the weight side to side. If it feels like we're really bunching up into the shoulders, we can walk the hands wider. So again, find your way into your downward dog rather than trying to force the body into a certain shape. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to step. Take your time to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back, hands to the knees. On the out breath, we fold. Press down into the feet, lifting tall, hands all the way above the head. Lovely. And then hands back through the center. Lovely. Coming back to standing. Let's move through a warm up. So breathing in, the arms lift. Breathing out as we fold. Lovely. Soften the knees as much as you want to. Breathing in, halfway lift. Hands down. Feet back. Find plank. Lovely. Really nice, guys. From here, knees can lower, or we can lower all the way down with the knees lifted. And then bring the hands away. Maybe the legs come away, skydiver. And then hands can come down, pressing back into child's pose. Tuck the toes under. Lift the sit bones, downward dog. Again, we can pedal, we can move. Find your way into this shape. When you're ready, we're going to step, walk to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back. On the out breath, we fold. Press down into the feet, lifting tall, hands above the head. Lovely. And then hands back through the center. Let's do that again. Breathing in. And breathing out. Swan dive the body down. Inhaling, lift halfway, flat back. Hands down, feet back. And choose how you want to lower. Breathing in, skydiver. Lovely. Hands under the shoulders, ripple through, toes tuck. And lift the sit bones, downward dog. Again, we can shake the head no, we can nod the head yes. And stepping, walking to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back. Breathing out, we fold. Press down into the feet, lift tall. And hands back down by the sides. Breathing in, arms parallel to the ears. Sit back, chair pose. Lovely. Hands down, right foot back, right knee down, left arm lifts. Lovely. Left hand down, right arm lifts. Let's swap around one more time on each side. Really nice, guys. That's awesome. And when you're ready, hands down, feet back. Find plank. Lower as you wish. Find your skydiver. Hands down. Pressing back into downward dog. From here, right leg lifts. Right foot to the top of the mat and we rise. Hands to the shoulders. We're going to twist to one side. Breathing in, twist to the other. Option to bend that back knee. If it feels strong into the front of the hip as well. Lovely. We're going to find a side reach. Hand to the hip, side reach. Hand to the other hip, side reach. And really nice. Let's do one more on each side. Awesome. And then when you're ready, hands down, feet back, lower, slide over. Hand under the shoulders, press back, downward facing dog. Send the breath into the back of the ribs, breathe in through the nose, and sigh the breath out through the mouth. Lovely. Making our way to the top of the mat, step, walk, jump, shimmy, rise with a flat back. On the out breath, we fold. Bend into the knees, chair pose. Lovely, hands into the chest as we lift. Let's do the same on the other side. Breathing in, chair. Breathing out, fold. Breathing in, lift halfway. This time left foot back, left knee down. Find that rotation. Lovely. Rotate to the other side. See if we can get this movement into navel upwards. Notice if the hips are starting to move. Really nice. Hands down, feet back. Find plank. Awesome. Lower as you wish. Skydiver. Really nice. Hands down. Make our way into child's pose. Lifting up downward dog. This time left leg lifts. Left foot to the top of the mat. And we rise. Love it. Again, back knee bends if we want to. Hands to the shoulders. We're going to twist to one side. Breathe in and out. Lovely. One more time on each side. Find that rotation. Awesome, guys. And then find a side reach. Lovely. And side reach to the other side. One more time on each side for the side reach. Really nice. Hands down, feet back. Plank. Lower. Skydiver. Hands under the shoulders. And downward dog. So when you first start doing yoga, you think downward dog, resting pose, what? And then you start to do some sun salutes and you realize actually this is really nice. So we're going to send the breath into the back of the ribs. Sigh the breath out through the mouth. Lovely. Step, walk, jump, shimmy to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back. On the out breath, we fold. Bend into the knees. Lovely. Hands into the chest as we lift. So from here, we're going to make our way to. So we're going to move backwards and forwards. So you may find that at a point you can't see me. We'll be doing exactly the same forwards and backwards. So I'm going to keep it sideways on so you can see that. We're going to lift the right leg. Lovely. Right leg comes back. Find that balance. Lovely. Right foot comes down. Drop the back knee to a hover. Breathing into lift. Option to bring the hands onto the shoulders. Back knee to a hover. Last one. Lovely. We're going to pivot on the feet. So we're now facing possibly away from me, depending on how you're set up. Hands to the shoulders. Back knee to a hover. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. Last one. From here, we're going to float that back leg up. Lovely. And then back knee lifts exactly the same way as we started. Let's move through that again. This time left foot for me comes back. Left foot down, back knee to a hover. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. Lovely. Twisting around. Same again. To a hover. Awesome. Find that hover. And then float. Think about it before you do it. Float away. Right leg lifts. Right knee to the top of the mat. Lovely, guys. You got it. Really nice. So from here, chin to the chest, we're going to roll down all the way down to lying on our side. So here lies the stability. So as we know, if it's your first time, you won't know, but sports yoga always includes stability, because when we're moving, if we are stable and strong between the hips and the shoulders, we get less kind of compensation going on into the body, and that's always going to be a good thing. So side lying, we want to find a point where maybe the hand is straight, maybe you're more comfortable with the hand propping up the head, you choose, I don't mind. See if you can spot the toes. If you can spot the toes, your feet are too far forward. We want to be in a straight line. So you want to be at that point where you're almost kind of holding yourself here just by being lying down on your side. And then we find that breath patterning. So we're going to breathe in, soften the belly, and then breathe out. Force the breath out, slam on the abdominal wall. So I've just done that. I'm still engaged, but I'm still able to breathe and to talk. So let's try that again. Breathe in to soften, breathe out, forcing out, stabilizing. So what that does is it strengthens the muscles between the ribs and the hips to minimize that moving around. Find that space where we're not kind of just collapsing. Can you see the difference there? Kind of collapsing the mid-waist into the ground. There's that idea of a lift here. And then from here, we are going to flex into the feet and then bend the knees. Lovely. Lift top leg only and then slide down. If you've done Pilates, this is Pilates. Tiny, tiny movements, really focused on specific muscles. The muscles that we're focusing on here are the ones on the outside edge of the hip. Notice as well, we're not coming into the biggest possible movement that we can. If I come into the biggest possible movement that I can, I start to feel it, I rock back, I lose that sense of integrity, I start to roll onto my side, I start to engage into the back of the back muscles, into the glutes. So keeping it really small, quite contained, lovely. From here, you might want to bring that top hand lying down. So I'm lying on my left side, I'm going to bring my right hand down, and I'm going to slide the bottom leg out. Left leg slides out, lovely. Again, notice we're not bringing that foot forwards, and we're going to lift, top leg only, and then down. Notice, again, am I coming as far as I possibly can? Am I kind of starting to tip back? Keep it small, tiny, tiny movement. So go as big as you can and then come back from there. And that way you're kind of able to find your tipping point. Lovely. So from here, I'm starting to really feel this into the outside edge of my hip. Hello, sneaky yoga, right? Really nice. From here, we're going to straighten that leg out. Love it. And then lift. And then down. Tiny movement. If my husband were to walk in right now, he'd be like, that can't be doing much. But it's one of those tiny, tiny, really controlled movement, particularly when it's combined with that engagement into the midline. So again, you might want to explore, make that movement as big as you can. I've lost that gap in the waist. I feel that inside. I feel that into the muscles around the back. Let's bring it right back down. Lovely. So we're not using momentum here. All about control. Teeny tiny movements. If you guys just heard like water flowing, I apologize. I've got an app that's always reminding me to drink more water. It's sad, isn't it, when what life's come to that? But it works really well. It also really makes me need the toilet because it just sounds like running water. But anyway, I'll save that for another video. Lovely. So from here, we're going to circle. So my body, I've explained, I'm hypermobile. I don't naturally have stability built into my body. All that kind of stiffness, I'm kind of extra bendy. So I find this really, really interesting. What happens as soon as I try to circle is that I feel like my whole It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. And my ribs and my hips want to do that movement instead of these muscles here. So let's see if we can do it without anything else moving. Circle around in the other direction. Oh, hello, sneaky muscles. Lovely. And then we're going to roll to lie on the other side. So I'm going to do a little yogi break dance so I can still see you guys. And show remember how to do yogi break dance without dunking my head. Lovely. So I'm now lying on my right side. Again, check in. Can I see my toes? Can I get that sense of lift into the side waist? Let's find that pattern. Breathing in and lovely. Force the breath out. Breathing in. Lovely. Bend the knees. Lift top leg only. Tiny movement. Don't go as big as you can. It's not the whole go big or go home. Go small or go home. It doesn't sound quite so good, does it? But you'll notice. So on the other side, you'll notice that those tiny movements to begin with, you're thinking, meh, but it soon starts to build up. Lovely. I've also noticed that I look a little bit like a yoga ninja today, so I need to wear more brightly colours in future, don't I? So I'll just blend in. Lovely. So from here, I'm going to slide out that bottom leg, top knee stays where it is. Lovely. Check if that leg's come forwards and lift and down. Again, not as big as we can, not tipping back. We want to keep the hips. So ideally, all of this movement we're doing without anything else moving. So that space between the shoulders, the ribs, the hips, nothing else moves, even as we shift the weight. Lovely, really nice, guys. Oh, it's that feisty one. Lovely. And then from here, top leg straightens, top leg lifts, and then down, lifting up, and then down, tiny, tiny. Lovely. Maybe even make it even smaller. Lovely. And then circle. So notice. Again, I can feel like ribs, like, oh, I can do this. It's all right, Esther, I can join in. I can do that. I can do that for you. No, thank you. It's very kind, but no, thank you. And then circle around in the other way. So if you're finding this like really easy, then maybe slow it down. So we're looking to not be using momentum here. So we're not kind of, yeah, this is fine. Really slow it down. Really become aware. Where can I find that? Where can I feel that? Lovely. And then from here, I'm going to roll to lie on the back. Soles of the feet onto the floor. Find that hinge into the lower back that we've played around with already. And we want to be, so hands behind the ears. So finding the fingertips on the ears. Find that space where we're not overly arched, not overly tucked, and then breathe in. Exhale, force the breath out. Breathing in. Exhale, force the breath out. Fingers behind the ears, and we're going to lift shoulders away. So as we do this, as we lift up, again, notice if there's a tendency to want to stick the chin forwards to compensate. See if we can keep the spine where it is, and then lower down. Lovely, lifting up, shoulder blades come away, and then down. Gaze down. A clue here, if as I lift, these muscles here along the front start to bulge up, then I haven't engaged into the core. I'm using the rectus abdominis instead of the transverse abdominis. Abdominals. Lovely. Let's do one more. Lifting. And then back. Really nice. From here, hands onto the shoulders. And we're going to lift up. Again, we want to find that right rib to the left hip. So rather than turning the shoulders, squeeze. Right rib to left hip. And then back. The other way around, whatever that is. Lovely. Come on, brain. It's still a bit slow. Still working on that one. I think I'll be working on that one for a few more years, yeah. Lovely. So squeeze, rib to opposite hip. Ribs are opposite hip. Lovely. And then slowly coming down from here. Hands onto the shoulders, re-pattern, breathe in to soften. Exhale. We're going to float right leg up. Lovely. And then left leg floats up, nothing else moves. Lovely. Right toes tap down. And lifting up. Left toes tap down. And lifting up. Again, it's easy to do this without any engagement. Just flip from one side to the other. When you're doing it with engagement through the center, that's when it becomes that stability, strengthening, stabilizing. Awesome. When you're ready, making this one the last one on the left. Bring the feet wide, knees to one side. Breathing in through center, knees to the other. Lovely. Breathing in and out. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Rock and roll up to standing, maybe to seated and then standing, whatever. Making up new words now. Or perhaps we can get all the way up. I still got it. Lovely, guys. Well done. So from here, right leg lifts, right foot steps back. Turn toes in, hands down. We're going to twist to one side and then through to the other. Lovely. Find that rotation into the spine. Really nice. When we've done the same on both sides, heels in, toes out. Breathing in to lengthen up and breathing out, elbows to the sides. Lovely. Breathing in and breathing out. So I teach this with some PTs as well, personal trainers, and their form on this is like incredible, like just absolutely immaculate. It's interesting how different people, like the shapes that they've practiced in their bodies. Lovely. So from here, breathing in, right toes to the top of the mat, left heel and back in line with the back of the mat. Reach forwards as far as we can. When we can't reach any further, right hand down. Lovely. Option to bring the hand onto the lower back. Option to gaze over that shoulder. Lovely. Bend into that front knee. Elbow can come onto that front knee. Hand can stay on the lower back or maybe reach across the head. Lovely. Straight line. Really nice. From here, lift that back heel up and the hands come onto the shoulders. Lovely. Drop back knee to a hover. Breathing in and breathing out, knee to a hover. Last time here, we're going to use the power into the back of the leg. Arms reaching forwards, hands into the chest. Left elbow onto the right knee. Let's find that twist. Lovely. So I'm going to turn around so you guys can see. Lovely. And then step back foot to join us. Really nice. My elbow is on my right knee. So I'm going to unhook that elbow and then float that right knee. So same knee that's just had the elbow on. Into our Superman and then bend into chair. Lovely. Let's do it on the other side. So I'm going to start at the other end so that I'm not facing away from you. Left foot back, toes in, heels out, hands down. Let's find that rotation. Again, always the option to find the lower back rather than reaching the arm up. Different sensation into the body, doesn't make it better or worse, just different. And then heels in, knees bend. Let's find that squat, so breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, breathing in, breathing out. So we're sitting down rather than back. Last one. This time it is the left toes to the top of the mat. Right heel in line with the back, reach forwards. When we can't reach any further, we hinge. Lovely, hand onto the lower back or up, you choose. Bend into that front knee. Lovely, choose where you want the hand to be. Really nice. Lift the back heel, turn the hips, hands to the shoulders. Lovely. Bend that back knee to a hover. Breathing in, breathing out. Awesome, guys. Strength through that back leg. Reach forwards. Hands into the chest. Right elbow this time, twists. And we turn around. So I'm not being antisocial. Use that front elbow like a lever as well. See if we can draw the thumb into the, so notice if we're kind of dumping through. Bring that back foot to join us at the top of the mat. Lovely. The same knee that has the elbow on it, we're going to unhook and lift that leg. Really nice. And then find chair. Awesome. So from here, making our way back down to lying. So hands can come down, feet step back, maybe find a plank and lower if you choose. Really nice. We're going to bring the forearms onto the ground to the point where the ribs are still down. That'll vary for all of us. Forearms flat. We're going to drag them back towards us. As we do that, the heart starts to come through. So again, bear in mind, if we don't have space in the shoulders, then we bring the head back. So if we can keep the gaze forward, lots of space in the neck, and then soften. So we breathe in, squeeze, shoulder blades, and then down. Lovely, last one. Really nice. From here, left arm across the top of the mat. Lift the right leg, send it further down the mat. Lift the right leg, send it further down the mat. Right hand finds that right foot. So if it easily reaches the sit bones, we can flex into that foot. And again, we play with that tilt of the pelvis. If I scoop my tailbone down, I feel this across the front of my quads. Lovely. So you can choose how strongly you want to feel this. Lovely. We're going to come around to the other side. Right arm at the top of the mat. Left hand finds the ankle. Again, option to flex the foot. Find that scooping. Find that point where you feel it across the front of the left thigh into the quads. Really nice. And then slowly release. From here, I'm going to find my stick man. Stick man is stick man. Somebody should write a book about that. We're going to find hands flat down, palms facing up, squeeze shoulder blades together to lift, and then come down. Lovely. Breathing in, squeeze, and exhaling down. We're going to roll to lie on the back. Lovely. Soles of the feet onto the floor. We're going to find exactly the same as we played around with when we were warming up. We're going to find that bridge. So inhale to arch into the lower back, exhale to scoop, and then lift. Peeling the spine away, and then placing it down in order. So we lift up the spine in order, and then we place it down in order. Lovely. Arch at the bottom, exhale to scoop, and then lift. Really nice. Lovely, guys. So from here, right knee into the chest. We can circle that right knee round. Hello, right hip. Nice to see you again. How are you feeling today? Lovely. Notice the feedback. It's a whole conversation going on here. And then hug that knee as close in as is comfortable. That will either be straight in or slightly out to the side. We can bring the left hand behind the thigh, right hand onto the lower leg, and bring the heel to the sit bones. Breathing in to lengthen up. Breathing out down. Breathing in to lift. Lovely. Let's do one more there. Inhaling, this time we pause. We get to wherever we get to. So hand onto the lower leg, calf, ankle, maybe the big toe. Goodness gracious, you might be able to hear sirens in the background. That never happens where I live. How exciting. I hope whoever it is okay. We're going to bring the palm onto the sole of the foot. So again, choose where is okay for you. Feel that into the belly of the hamstring. Hello, hamstring. Lovely. And then we slowly release. We're going to bring the left knee into the chest, circle it round. So my talking of the police, my 5-year-old still thinks that burglars are called burger thieves, and I'm not going to correct him anytime soon. Lovely. So from here, left knee this time into the chest, right hand behind the thigh, left hand onto the lower leg, and let's move. Let's just move. Where do I get to this time? So again, as always, we're not looking to, force. I can get to there if I really force it. Just moving. Stay inquisitive. Because we're moving, forwards and backwards, we're gliding on and off of this muscle, which gives it a chance to figure out what's going on. So rather than trying to force it, just let it come to wherever it comes to. Lovely. And then this time we can lift and pause, hand to the calf, ankle, toe, inside arch of the leg. Doesn't matter where we come to. A lot of this, in fact, if we're getting our hand to the inside arch of the foot without any difficulty, a lot of it's to do with how long our arm bones are, in fact, rather than how flexible we are. So just bear that in mind. Lovely. And then slowly releasing, bringing knees into the chest, shifting side to side. Again, rocking and rolling. So making our way back up into a downward facing dog this time. So right leg lifts, right foot steps forward. We're going to bring the weight onto that right thigh. So I'm going to bring my weight onto my right thigh, pin that thigh in place, and then lift through the back knee. Lovely. So I want to be in that place where my head's reaching forwards, my back foot's reaching back, and oh, wait a minute, there's something happening in the middle. So this is the psoas muscle, this is the hip flexor. Maybe it feels good to be just here, or maybe we start to explore releasing the hips down a little bit. Keep that back knee lifted, keep that back foot flexed, lovely. And then stepping back into down dog. So left foot forwards. Bring the belly onto the thigh and pin that thigh, leg in place. Lift through the back knee, gaze forwards. So again, not forwards, but just space in the neck. And maybe we start to soften into that space in between, but keeping that back knee lifted. Lovely. And then stepping back into down dog. Really nice. So from here, step, walk, jump, shuffle to the top of the mat. We're going to make our way down to our recovery, to relaxation. So find a comfortable lying position. Recovery is where we encourage the body away from the stress response into the state of rest and digest. Let the head catch up with where the body's got to. And for those guys that are watching the video, you can stay there as long as you like. I'm going to stop the recording.